I'm always so curious about the words that we use. Words are powerful, are they not? They ignite us, they stop us in our tracks, they create clarity or confusion. The possibilities are truly endless. And I wonder how often we coast by in our conversations without getting really intentional about our word choices, about what does and doesn't serve us. The words we use in conversation with others are so important. And do you ever consider the words you use with yourself that flow through your mind in your internal dialogue? Have I got your attention yet? Good. On today's episode of the Devoted Way podcast, I share a question I have been walking on my own journey as I get curious about my own word choices and how I can clean up my relationship with my inner dialogue. And let me tell you, this question packs a powerful punch and has blown me away with its simplicity and precision. Ooh, I cannot wait to dive into this with you. So keep listening and let's follow our curiosity together. Welcome to the Devoted Way podcast, all about magic and miracles with me, Sora Schilling. It's time to hone in on your intuition, become artful, respectful, and nuanced with your relationship with energy, and live life based on your design. Your unique blueprint encoded with stardust from the ethereal realm and blood from those that have come before you. You know what to do and how to be, so trust in yourself. I have a question that I have been walking with recently, and I'd love to ask you the question to see what answer you feel into. So the question that I've asked myself, that I ask often, but this has been a really curious place in this. I'm going to say that again. So, as you know, part of Devoted and my path, my ministering of my own path and walking this prayer is to always be with a question, to notice how a question lies in the in-between of my life and what that really means for me and how it shows up and what's the wisdom that desires to be disseminated from that place. And there's a question that I had been walking with about a month or two ago that I then posed in my community. And I would like to ask you this question. And the question is, what is one word you use often that does not serve you? I'm going to say that again in case you're driving or you opened up the fridge and so it kind of cut out. I'm going to ask the question again. What is one word you use often that does not serve you? I'm going to pause there for a second. Okay, do you notice if there's a word that has come up for you? Inside of our devoted community, we had some answers and they were incredible. So one devoted human said need and should. And that this person started to filter this out of their vocabulary. Another said the word can't. And then another community member said the phrase, I assume that. Now, these are amazing, right? These are words that folks in our devoted community have chosen to really look at. Notice that it's become part of their day-to-day vocabulary that they might have frequently said out loud or in their internal mind that does not serve them. And often these are words that, for most of us, it does not serve us. Need and should, can't, I assume that. So I want to share with you the word that had come up for me about a month or two ago that then we were able to shift and transform into the most dynamic, creative outlet that I can't take credit for. But let me tell you the story. So the word for me is but, B-U-T. Right? Often in my own mind's eye, I have heard myself say, oh, I want to blah, 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 but I can't. I need to, I should, I assume that, right? So you can put in all those other words in there too. But the but stops me from dreaming, from tapping into the possibilities, to trust and conceptualize the idea that the miracles can happen in all sorts of different ways and it doesn't have to be linear, right? All the things that I know to be true in the acausal realm, it's why I live in this world of magic. And yet my human conditioning brings in that word often enough that I have to consciously take a moment, notice that but, notice the way that my mind desires to flip the script and tell me all of the limiting reasons why I can't do something or be someone, and then move through my own self-energy coaching to get to the other side of liberation and letting that but go. But I want to give you a tip as to how you may shift this in a really fun way, in a way that is pretty simple, and you can do it immediately. Okay? And so most of you know this. It comes from actually improv, and it's really super helpful. But I wonder how often you use it for yourself, which is shifting the word from but and replacing it with the word and. But here's the caveat. I have heard and seen so many clients who will say a sentence and then be about to say the word but and then change it to and, but simply mean the same definition as but. That's not what I'm asking you to do, right? And so, for example, a client might say, I really do want to pivot and be known as a coach that is deeply representative of the archetype of the warrior. And they really mean but. And I'm not sure if my community members will really resonate with that. Yeah, they're not saying and. What they're really saying is, but I don't think my clients will really resonate that, right? And is not to discredit your statement. And is to build upon. The and is used to help you think outside the box. So whenever I use the word and, what I am here to do is heartstorm and brainstorm all of the ideas, all of the dreams, all of those unlimited potential that is out there that does not make sense at all, right? So when you're doing this in, let's say, something like improv, or I don't even know how to say it, but improv comedy, right? And, or if you're doing it for, let's say, design thinking, for those of you who are in the design world, you might know of design thinking. This is a space where your creativity is given full permission to think outside the box, and you with yourself, or you with your team, or you and your friends could use the word and to build upon. The rule here is that when you add the and, you are not discrediting anyone else's ideas. You are simply building upon it, and they could be as far-fetched as you want it to be. So, for example, if you were to say, I really desire to have an incredible home that I build with my partner on 5 acres of land, right? And now your mind is like, that's not happening. When is that going to happen? Where are you going to move to? But, real estate is so high right now. Land, who has actually land to buy? There's all of these different things that are happening. So I would go into my process. I would drop in, go into the space of the sacred, calling myself to myself. And I would say, I desire to have 5 acres of land on land that feels deeply supportive to me and my nervous system, where myself and my partner could build our ideal home, our dream home. And I would love it to be in a place that is accessible to a huge Korean grocery store. And I would love there to be neighbors who are diverse. And I still desire for myself to live in an area that is probably not the Northeast. And it might even be in the South. And, right, so you just keep going. And I'm going to have a priestess temple space that is deeply supportive with my work, that has all of my amazing magical tools that I've accumulated for the past 20 years that are in storage boxes because I have no room for it at the moment. And, right, then you just keep going with the and. Now, here's the space also to remember, which is the and isn't only to dream. The and is to provide, to help you come up with viable next action steps, or possibly even viable solutions, right? So as I'm going through this, my and would be, and the way that my heart would feel joyful is to continue to every weekend make the commitment that my partner and I are going to drive to a different neighborhood that is anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours away, just to get to know my state better. Right. And I am going to at least every 6 weeks go up to the mountain to our family's home on the mountain and honor that I do have acres of land because it is part of our family, and really bless that and feel grateful for what it is that I currently have. Right. And I shall continue to work with my bookkeeper and accountant to learn more about what's happening in my business every quarter, every year, so that I can make really intentional projections in the future, right? So what I'm sharing with you and showing you is your ands are to think outside of the box, the impossible to be possible in the dream state, but also the and is to help you ground into understanding where you are, what's happening, what's going on, and what could your next steps be, right? So that's what the and is there for. So I'm going to share with you a very specific space in this that myself and my team have been, how we've been doing this. So we play the game. So I Voxer them and I said, hey team, we're going to play a game. And the game is called What If? Okay. That's the game. What if ... question mark. And so I shared with them that the rule is that there's no buts, there's only ands. And you can think outside the box and as big as you desire. All ideas and dreams and wishes and niggles and intuitive hits are accepted inside of this game of What If. And so I began the game. And so I shared, what if there was an evolution to DEX, to Devoted Energy Coaching School, for we are very shortly coming to our 1-year anniversary. What if it wasn't a open and closed enrollment where there were cohorts that came in 3 times a year? What if there was a different way to hold the space? And then I passed it on. And then my team members started to Voxer, right? And they shared their what ifs. What if we didn't have to launch deeply 3 times a year? What if there was a incredible community where people kept ebbing in and out and there were people on the path in different times and scales? What if it was like your other offering that you had, Sora, which is Devoted Way Initiate, where you did do that and it worked so well? What if? And they just kept going with the what ifs. We had such an amazing time because it brought in inspiration. It allowed us to reflect back at what was working and what was ready to be let go of. It also helped us to come to a space of how did we desire to continue to work smarter and work faster and work more intentionally, but not harder and overwork ourselves. It also provides this opportunity to feel into how may I continue to support people in the most intimate way while also growing and accepting more and more students, while also going off and doing other things I enjoyed, right? And it came to this place where by the end of it, within, I would say even like 3 days, we landed on the evolution of Devoted Energy Coaching School. And from that, we now have an online course portal. We are almost finalized with our amazing manual. We have an incredible magazine that is coming out that is basically a gorgeous invitation to come into Devoted Energy Coaching School. We are opening up open enrollment so people can come in whenever they feel like it is the right time, because we believe, in our community, instantly if you are a yes. There's nothing I need to do to convince you. Majority of folks who enter don't even know why they're here or what is going on, but they immediately know they are a full-bodied yes. So why do I need to convince, right? And so there's all of these different nuances. Oh, and because it's been a year and we've matured, our branding has matured. And so the visuals and the way that we want to show up also has changed. And this has all happened because we played the game, What If? So for each and every one of you who are in a space right now where you're not quite sure, or you know that there's a little transition or pivot that's happening, or possibly you are ready to, you feel like you need to burn it all down and start from scratch. Maybe you don't have to. So maybe don't do that yet, right? Simply play the what if game. And you can say, what if I burned it all down, right? And then you share the little things of why, and then you place the and. And at some point, your and might be, and what if I didn't burn it all down? What if I changed the messaging? What if I changed the wording of the course and the name of the course? What if that in itself brings a new energy of where I'm heading, right? And so I would also invite you can do this on your own. But if you are going to do it on your own, I invite you to do it via like an audio system. So go ahead and use like Vox or Memo or some sort of audio memo where you're doing it out loud. But to be honest, I say go ahead and invite your dearest council members. So those friends of yours that you know are here to not say no or but are only here to celebrate and to provide you the ands with excitement and delight and trust in who you are and where you can go and the possibilities you have because of your powerful medicine. So I hope you enjoy this. It's a really fun exercise, and I look forward to seeing what comes out of your what ifs as you continue to play with removing the word but from your vocabulary and instead inserting the word and.
It is a blessing to serve you. My deepest desire is to bring nourishment to your soul, activate and enliven your inner landscape, and find inspiration through the sacred stories of others and myself, so we remember we are collectively woven. If you would like to learn more about mysticism, spiritual devotion, magic and intuition, sacred leadership, business practices, and devoted energy coaching, please make sure you subscribe to Devoted Way podcast. As I continue to serve, may I humbly ask for a sacred exchange. I would be so appreciative if you would write a love note, otherwise known as a review. Share the episode with your friends and community members, and engage with me on Instagram at Devoted Way. If you have any questions you desire to be answered on Devoted Way podcast, please head over to devotedway.com and send me an email. Stay sacred and discover your path and join the Devoted Way. May magic and miracles occur in your life every day as you co-create a synchronistic new world with the Great Mother. Until next time, this is Sora Schilling.